The mutants are coming. After years of careful planning, strategic acquisitions, and patient world building, Marvel Studios is finally ready to unleash the X-Men into the MCU. But before we get there, before the Children of the Atom take center stage, the studio needs to establish the threats that will define this new era. And they've chosen two of the most terrifying villains in Marvel history. Let's start with the one hiding in plain sight, Nathaniel Essex, better known as Mr. Sinister. In the comics, Essex was a Victorian-era scientist obsessed with evolution and genetic manipulation. He encountered Apocalypse in the 1800s and was transformed into something far more dangerous, a pale, calculating mastermind with a diamond marking on his forehead and an unhealthy obsession with mutant DNA. What makes Sinister perfect for the MCU? He's been doing this for centuries. Think about it. The MCU has established a world where superhuman abilities have existed for decades, even centuries. The Eternals have been around for thousands of years. Hydra was experimenting on people since World War II. Sinister could have been operating in the shadows this entire time, collecting genetic samples, running experiments, pulling strings. Every major superhuman event, he's been watching. The Avengers, data collected, the snap, a fascinating case study. The emergence of new powered individuals across the globe. Christmas morning for a geneticist with no moral compass. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has been dropping hints for years. The acquisition of Fox's properties wasn't just about getting the X-Men back hit, was about accessing their villains. And Sinister sits at the top of that list for a reason. He's not a world ender. He's a manipulator. Thanos wanted to reshape reality. Kang wanted to control time. Sinister wants to control evolution itself. He wants to create the perfect mutant, to guide humanity's next step, whether they like it or not. That's a different kind of horror slower, more insidious, more personal. But here's where it gets interesting. Sinister is the scalpel, Apocalypse is the hammer. In Sabanur, the first mutant, awakened in ancient Egypt over 5,000 years ago. In the comics, he's operated under a simple philosophy: survival of the fittest. The weak perish, the strong evolve. Civilization rises and falls at his discretion. The 2016 Fox film didn't quite nail him. Too much spectacle, not enough menace. But Marvel Studios has learned from those mistakes. They've seen what works and what doesn't. They know how to build a villain properly. Look at how they handled Thanos. We didn't meet him until post-credit scenes and brief appearances. By the time Infinity War rolled around, we understood exactly who he was and what he wanted. The groundwork was laid over years, not months. Apocalypse deserves the same treatment. Imagine the setup. Ancient flashbacks showing his rise and fall. Whispered legends among those who study mutant history. Archaeological discoveries that hint at his existence. Cult devoted to his return. By the time he actually appears on screen, fully powered and ready to judge humanity, audiences will understand the stakes. And here's the connection that makes this whole thing work. Sinister and Apocalypse are linked. The comics, it was Apocalypse who transformed Essex into Sinister. He saw potential in the scientist's amoral brilliance and gave him the power to pursue his obsessions. But Sinister, being Sinister, eventually turned against his creator. He's been scheming for centuries, sometimes serving Apocalypse, sometimes working to destroy him. That's a dynamic the MCU can exploit beautifully. Picture this. Phase 7 introduces Sinister as a behind-the-scenes threat. He's been manipulating events, experimenting on mutants, building toward something. The heroes discover his existence and think they've identified the big bad. They prepare to take him down. Then Apocalypse wakes up. Suddenly, Sinister isn't the final boss. He's a complication. Maybe he even becomes a reluctant ally against a greater threat, all while pursuing his own agenda. The heroes can't trust him, but they might need him. That's compelling storytelling. The MCU has also been laying thematic groundwork. The Eternals introduced the concept of cosmic beings judging humanity's worth. The Celestials decide which civilizations survive. That's remarkably similar to Apocalypse's philosophy. He sees himself as an agent of cosmic selection, culling the weak to strengthen the whole. There's a through line forming here, mythology taking shape. And let's not forget the personal stakes. In the comics, Sinister is obsessed with specific bloodlines. The Summers family Cyclops, Havoc, Cable has been his pet project for generations. He's manipulated their lives, their relationships, their children. He created Madeline Pryor as a clone of Jean Grey, just to produce offspring with the right genetic markers. That's deeply unsettling. It's a villain who violates on a fundamental level. The MCU can translate that obsession to any number of characters. Perhaps Sinister has been tracking mutant genetics for decades, waiting for the right combination to emerge. Perhaps he's already identified his targets. Perhaps the X-Men form specifically because they discover they share a common enemy who has been watching them since birth. The horror writes itself. Marvel Studios has proven they can handle complex villains. They've proven they can execute long-term storytelling. They've proven they can take lesser-known threats and make them iconic. Sinister and Apocalypse represent the next evolution. The question isn't whether they'll appear, it's when. And based on everything we know, it's based on every hint and tease and strategic silence from Feige and his team, that moment is approaching faster than anyone realizes. The mutants are coming, and their greatest enemies are already waiting.